In today's video, we're going to cover the most nerve-wracking part of this renovation so far, and that is reinforcing and leveling of the kitchen subfloor. I highly recommend you don't repeat anything we do in this video, but with that said, go ahead and subscribe right now. I'll wait for you because I'm not sure you will if you make it to the end of this video. Let's get started. In the kitchen demo video, when we were removing the old tile floors, we discovered this strange 90s subfloor called the gypcrete. This stuff is very brittle and it cracks easily. And once it's cracked, it allows quite a bit of flex in the floor. Also, during the tile removal, the old tile mortar pulled up quite a bit of the top layer of this gypcrete. This caused a lot of unevenness in the surface of the subfloor. So after water sealing it, we decided to reinforce the floor with steel netting and level it with mortar. We started out by laying down the first 4 pieces of the 8-foot galvanized steel stucco netting and used a T50 heavy-duty staple gun with 14mm staples to attach it to the gypcrete subfloor. The hand gun worked pretty well, but for those stubborn staples, we used the scrap piece of 2x4 and a hammer to level them with the netting. Next, we moved on to cutting the rest of the netting to size. There are many tools you can use for this job, and after trying a couple, we settled on these giant gardening shears. They cut this stuff like butter. With all the pieces installed, we mixed up some mud to pancake batter consistency, following the instructions on the bag. Here's the only useful tip in this entire video. If you are mixing your mortar using a drill, grab a trigger clamp, attach it to the drill to use it as a second handle. This will help you avoid hurting your wrists when the drill kicks. With the mortar mixed, we bravely poured our first bucket and spread it with the trowel. The surface was not coming out super level, but we weren't worried because we had a grand plan to level the floor once we had a bigger area to work with. We proceeded to add a second bucket and then a third bucket. And once the work area expanded to about a quarter of the room, it was time to execute our super leveling technique. Here comes the fun part. We grabbed a 9-foot aluminum U-channel and attempted to use the left to right motion to level the work area. As you can see, we were not getting the desired results. So then we tried to drag the U-channel towards us, but still no luck. You know that old saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again and again and again. But no matter what we did, the area was not coming out smooth. And it was actually getting worse with every pass. I know you may not be able to see this on camera, but patches of netting started to become visible in some areas. I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I started panicking that the floor would turn out even worse than what we started with. So we began to come up with some creative ideas to solve these problems. My dad was like, maybe it's the U-channel. So he tried this pipe we found on site and that did not do much good. And then I was like, maybe we need more mortar to fill these patches. So we added another bucket and tried to level the floor, but that only made things even worse. And this is when things got real squirrely. I put some plastic bags on my feet to keep my socks clean. You're probably wondering, why are they doing this in their socks in the first place? Well, it's simple, to keep our shoes from getting dirty, obviously. At this point, the trowel was doing the best job at smoothing out the surface, so I went back to the beginning to try to smooth everything out. Turns out the bags on your feet create suction cup effect and pull the mortar right out of the netting with every step you take, making things way worse. While I was putzing around with the trowel, my dad found this $5 Harbor Freight 24-inch paint shield and suggested I give this tool a try. What the heck? We have nothing to lose at this point. To my surprise, this thing was a game changer. It covered a lot of surface area and worked just as well as a trowel, if not better. So I went back over all the areas and smoothed them out to the best of my ability. I guess my dad had FOMO and wanted to see if his socks were mortar proof. So he jumped in to correct some of my imperfections I left behind. But soon realized it's not so easy. So I had to go back and correct his corrections. And then he decided to correct my corrections with the trowel. So I one-upped him by suggesting to go back to something that definitely did not work before. For some reason, I thought that the 2x4 would work better than the trowel or the U-channel or the paint shield, but it only set us back even further. Clearly, the bags on my feet were causing all of our problems, so after I removed them, everything just fell right into place. I went back and covered our footprints, accepting defeat. and decided to move on with the rest of the room. Surprisingly, that went really well compared to where we started. If for some reason you end up in this situation and you still want our guidance after all of this, here's what worked well for us at the end. Pour the mortar on top of the netting and spread it with a trowel to get it in all the crevices, and then use the paint shield to smooth out the area. On that note, thank you to all the troopers who subscribed to the channel and to all of you who made it to the end of this video. If you found this entertaining, please hit the like button and subscribe to see the next video of me laying floor tile for the first time in my life. Lastly, all I have to say is I hope it goes better than this one. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.